Oh, come on, y'all. I've been thinking one day I'm going to bring me a triangle. I was in the band for a while. But my mouth got me in trouble. I'll leave the rest of the story alone. Amen. Amen. Matthew 15. Verse 21. I'm reading from the New American Standard Version. Jesus went away from there and withdrew into the district of Tyre and Sidon. And a Canaanite woman from that region came out and began to cry out, saying, "Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is cruelly demon-possessed." But he did not answer her a word, and his disciples came and implored him, saying, "Send her away, because she keeps shouting at us." But he answered and said, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and began to bow down before him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered and said, "It is not good to take the children's bread and to throw it to the dogs." But she said, "Yes, Lord. But even the dogs feed on the crumbs which fall from their master's table." Then Jesus said to her, "O woman, your faith is great. It shall be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed at once. Departing from there, Jesus went along by the Sea of Galilee, and having gone up on the mountain, he was sitting there. And that thus ends the reading of our text this morning. We will continue on with our Jam series, Jesus and Me. Jam series. The title for today, the thought of today is Step into the Arena. Step into the arena. The best part of the game is always the middle of the game. Regardless of what we're talking about, we could be talking about basketball, we could be talking football, we could be talking baseball, but it's when you find yourself in the guts of the game is when we are able to understand the exhilaration that comes in knowing that you are fighting for a desired outcome. Because the beginning jitters have gone away. It happens every time. If you ever notice, you'll be able to see on the television screen, as soon as they begin to play the Star-Spangled Banner, you got folks working the arms out, moving the necks around. For there are jitters when you're about to begin something new. And you and I both know you don't always have to be in a sport to understand the feelings when you are beginning to start something new. Whether it's beginning a new business or starting a new relationship or going to college. The other night I was driving my father home and we stopped at the Boston Market right there on the boulevard to get him something to eat, but he's never hungry, but somehow we always end up getting something to eat. I was wearing one of my sweatshirts and it was from Drew University, and the young girl behind the cash register who was preparing our meal, she looked at me once, she looked at me twice, and you know me, after a while I say, "How are you?" And she said, "Did you go to college there?" I said, "Well, yes, I did some of my academic work at Drew." She said, "Well, I'm thinking about going to college right now, but I'm so scared. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it." And right there on the boulevard in the Boston Market, right at Grant Avenue, I began to talk so much to that young girl. She was wishing she never told me. Folks was behind me wanting to order their cream spinach. They wanted their chicken, but after a while, my dad walked away from me and went and got his drink from the machine. And all the while, I was telling this young girl, you first have to believe that you can do it. That you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. There will always be those who try to tear you down, but at some point, at some time, you have to be willing to step into the arena and fight for what you want. Because everybody, every day can talk about all the dreams that they have and all the things they hope they can acquire. But at some point, at some time, you got to be willing to fight for what you want.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
That's what happens in every sporting event. I think back to when I was an athlete myself. Those were the best parts of the game. The end of the second quarter, moving into the third. When you and the man across from you have had some time to figure each other out. And now we've gotten to the nitty gritty and it's simply a battle of wills.
Yes, yes.
Will I give in to you or will I make you succumb to me?
All right now. Yes.
All too often I see some folks that at the first sign of trouble, they turn away. At the first sign of pushback, they give in.
Amen.
We have to be willing, my brothers and my sisters,
Yes.
to step into the arena.
Yes.
Are you not entertained when things get tough for you in life? Is it not a joke or a game when you realize that you truly will have some obstacles that stand in your way?
Yes, yes, yes.
Or is it a surprise that there is somebody who has a vested interest in destroying your dreams
Yes.
and stealing your joy?
Yes, Lord.
That's why the old folks used to say, this joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. And the world can't take it away. Because too many of us are giving folks too much power to steal the joy that God has given us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm almost embarrassed sometimes, Sister Dolores, as I think and I read the text and I pray my prayers and I get ready for Sunday. Sister Nadira, I'm almost embarrassed that half the time when I'm driving in my car, the thought that I have connects to a song that once used to give me so much joy. I remember where it happened. We were on Lincoln Drive, and the tree was on Lincoln Drive, and nobody could get around, and there was a whole bunch of traffic, and I began to say, well, let me think about Sunday right now. I guess it was about Tuesday, and I began to read this text, and I began to think of the text, and I began to say, you know what? This woman decided that she was going to step into the arena. And my mind went back to 1990 and Guru and Premier. They came out with a whole album, Gang Starr, Step Into the Arena.
Amen. Yes.
Because we meet a woman today, and she decided a long time ago that I'm not going to leave until you bless me.
Amen. Amen.
We met a woman in the text. A woman who decided that I need something from the Lord.
Yes.
And I know that there are some obstacles in my way, but I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay until I receive what it is that I came for.
Amen.
For you see, the text is clear. We're moving towards Jesus saying, I am going back to the Father. In chapter 16 of Matthew will be the first time, according to Matthew, that Jesus pronounces and prophesies his death. But in chapter 14 and even in 13, we are able to witness the power of God. You are able to see that he was able to feed the 5,000 with the fish and the loaves. We move on and we're able to see that Jesus was walking on the water and they thought it was a ghost that was coming to him. And so here, as we pick up in chapter 15, the text says that Jesus wants to withdraw for a while. Some of y'all know about that. After you've been working for a long time, you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want anybody to call your phone. You don't want anybody to ask you anything. You don't want any questions about what is for dinner. You say it's something in the cabinet. You don't want to find anything else because at that very moment you're tired. And sometimes physical weariness is not as bad as mental weariness. Because when your mind gets tired, it's hard to restart. When your body gets tired, you can just be like me, extra large coffee, cream and sugar. But when your mind gets tired, it's hard to reboot. It's hard to come back. And that is what we see with Jesus. It says that he decides to withdraw because he just finished feeding the 5,000. He just finished walking on the water, and now we see he's on the other side of the lake, other side of the Sea of Galilee. But how many folks know that anything Jesus does is not by chance? It's always amazing to me, Sister Angela, when folks say, Pastor, that word was just for me. And you know what? It never ceases to fail. The moment that I think I did my worst job is the moment someone says you did your best job. The moment that you think you missed it all together is the moment that someone emails you and say, I needed that word yesterday, Pastor. Because we know that it is not by accident when Jesus comes around our spaces. It's not by accident that he opens the doors that he opens up. It's not by accident that we find ourselves in the places we find. Jesus has a reason for doing everything that takes place.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So even though he was tired, even though he didn't want to do a whole lot of talking, the text tells us he decides to go to Tyre and Sidon, these two main cities in Phoenicia, for he wanted to deal with a matter. He wanted to deal with the racists that find themselves in the area. Amen. That's one reason I'm glad for President Trump. I'm happy for Steve Bannon. I'm all right with what's going on right now. Because I can do a better job knowing you don't like me. Than when you're undercover, acting like you like me. I said it before, I'll say it again. The OJs had it right. They smile in your face. All the time. Try and take your place. Backstab. See, I'm equal opportunity. I gave you a little early 90s rap. I'll give you a little 70s soul. You got a pastor that can go from Gangstar to the OJ. You better say amen. For there was even in this time when Jesus is going to go back to the Father, as he's going to prophesy that he would die soon, he has to deal with the racism that's in his own clique. The racism and the prejudice that's with his own people. For even though his disciples had been with him, even though they've eaten with him, even though they've been all around him, they still look at these Greeks with their nose in the air, thinking they were better than somebody else. Oh, we know something about that. See, it's real easy for us to say it's all about the white man, but some of y'all know about the brown paper bag test. Oh, it's not just outside the family. We got some issues in the family. Here in the text, he decides, I'm going to go. And here he sees there's a woman he needs to meet, the Canaanite woman in verse 22. She begins to cry out, have mercy on me. My daughter is cruelly demon possessed. I don't know what could be a greater encourager. I don't know what could be a greater reason for someone to be beside themselves than the illness of their child.
Yes.
In the city of Philadelphia here on March the 11th, we've had 50 murders. 38 have been African-American men. 38 have been African-American men just in the beginning 3 months of 2018. And what do I think about? I think about every mother that has to go to a random funeral home to bury their child. I think about the 17 parents down in Florida that have to deal with the understanding that their child just went to school. And now they're left to figure out what to do. All the children that find themselves at CHOP, all the children that find themselves at St. Jude, you see these parents that are holding on by a thread, hoping and praying that someone will step in and help them. That is what is in the text. The circumstance is that this woman's child is demon possessed. And she has decided that I'm going to see Jesus. See, if you go to the book of Mark, you'll be able to see another understanding of the text. Because in Mark, Mark records Jesus saying, don't tell anybody I'm in town. See, Matthew leaves that out, but Mark tells us that Jesus says, don't tell anyone I'm here. Now, let's put that together. The woman found out what she wasn't supposed to find out, that Jesus is in town. Any ladies here that have been told no, decided to do it anyway? They said you need to act nice and that's how you're going to make it through in life. But some of y'all are where you are right now because you didn't take no for an answer. Step into the arena.
Yes.
You got to fight for what you want. This woman comes, her child is sick, and she needs to see Jesus, even though Jesus doesn't want to be dealt with. He doesn't want to be seen. I'm tired. Leave me be. The next step in the text jumps off the page. We've never seen Jesus do this. I mean, we've seen Jesus do so much. We've seen him raise the dead. We've seen him heal the blind. We've seen him eat together. We've seen him talk in the temple. We've seen him as a precocious teenager arguing with the seniors in the temple. We've seen him do all these things. We watched him get born in the stable. We've seen Jesus do all this stuff. We've seen him angry at the temple. We've seen him sad when Lazarus died. We've seen him on the way resolute to go to the cross. But we have never seen what we are about to see right here. For in Matthew 15, Jesus is just mean. And we've never seen that. We've never seen Jesus be mean. But he's mean because he wants to teach a lesson to those who would believe that they are better than someone else. Look at what the text says. She says, have mercy on me. The first thing that we see, he did not answer her. Now, when have we ever seen that from Jesus? I mean, Jesus knew when the power left his body, when the woman with the issue of blood was crawling through the crowd. We've never seen Jesus just ignore somebody. But the question is sometimes, how bad do you want it?
All right now.
See, everybody wants to be the pastor, but don't everybody want to do the work. How bad you want it? Everybody wants to be the teacher, but don't everybody want to go to school to be ready. How bad do you want it? Everybody want to ask the young lady on a date, but you're not willing to walk across the room and embarrass yourself. How bad do you want it? Because you got to have some want to. The first thing, he ignores her. And now look at the disciples. These co-signing racist brothers right here. Look at them. Here in the text, the disciples say, Jesus, send her away. Because she keeps on shouting at us. See, there's so many folks that think they have a right to Jesus before you. See, they don't want to talk about how Jesus came to get them while they were yet smelling like fish. Oh, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how Jesus came to get them when they were stealing from the taxes. Oh, they don't want to talk about that. But at first sight, you see a woman that's yelling for her child. You say, make sure you send her away. They believe they have a monopoly on the Lord. You can't pray until I'm through praying. You can't sing until I'm through singing. Because God wants to hear from me first. But they have forgotten how God has reached out to them.
Yes.
Because if they had learned anything, they would have said, make way for this woman. Because obviously she needs something because she keeps on shouting. Here are the circumstances, and now we're into the conversation. Send her away. But Jesus says, no, I'm not going to send her away, Sister Bernadette. I'm going to give her a little test. I was only sent, young lady, to the lost sheep of Israel. I mean, that's like a shot in the heart. My child's at home, demon possessed, and now you tell me that you didn't come for people like me, even though I'm mixed blood. I'm not from Israel. You say that I can't come to the Lord. You say that I can't be blessed by the Lord. Oh my goodness, we've never seen Jesus be like this. Like, Jesus, why are you being so mean? This lady needs some help. But see, she decided that I'm going to fight for what I want.
Amen.
Some of us have been asking the Lord for some things, and we haven't heard a word, and it's almost like the woman, God, have you heard what I said, what I needed you to do? And God is sitting back saying, how bad do you want it? How long will you seek my face? How long will you turn from your wicked ways? How long will you humble yourself and go down in the name of Jesus? How long will it be? Because I am not a magic genie in the bottle.
Amen.
This isn't blessings on tap. I've already given you so much stuff that you can't pay for now.
All right.
Because I woke you up this morning and you couldn't do it yourself. I've given you things you can't pay for. I've given you the air you breathe and the food you eat, the water you drink. You still ain't paid me for that and got nerve to say, I think I ought to get a blessing on tap. God, I know I ain't been living right, but do this for me. Or maybe it's like the genie in the bottle. Rub it. Y'all remember that show, I Dream of Jeannie? What she used to do, the nose thing? Whatever it is, Bewitched. I watch reruns, amen? That's right. But here she decides that even after he says these things to her, she says, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lean myself on the mercy of the Lord. I'm going to bow down and I'm going to say, Lord, help me.
Yes.
Has anyone been in that space lately?
Yes.
You've been trying to find the right words to say, but you haven't put together the easiest words.
Yes.
Lord, help me. See, we've been trying to say all the right words, all of the kind words, all of the 10-point words in Scrabble, but sometimes you just got to say, Lord, help me.
Help me. Yes.
Lord, help me to be a better man. Lord, help me to be a better husband. Lord, help me to be a better father. Help me to be a better pastor. Help me to not see when they talk about me. Help me not to go into when they try to say all nasty things about me. Lord, just help me. My body is hurt. Lord, help me. Lord, I got sickness on the inside. Lord, help me.
Yes.
Jesus takes it one step further. Can you see them sparring right now? You see Jesus on one side and you see the woman on the other. And she decided, I'm going to step right into this arena. I'm going to fight for what I want. And this is what he says. Look at how Jesus doubles down. So at first he says, I'm not for you. And she says, oh, help me, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
He says, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. Can you see that right now? In your sanctified imagination? If this was taking place in 2018, who you calling a dog, Jesus? We're gonna have a problem. You keep calling me out of my name. Oh, I know it's the truth anyhow. Some of us, we believe, we allow ourselves to be turned around too soon. The first time someone says something mean to us, we crumble and die. No, you got to have a resolve that says, I am not who you say I am.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
I am who God says I am. Because if you let folks say who you are, then you're allowing people to define you and believe in what they say, never mind what they say. Because if it was left up to some folks, I never would have finished elementary school. They said, get him out of here as fast as you can. Lord, he can't come back. He's having problems every day. But someone said he is not that. He is what God said.
Yes.
We had some tough conversations to get me on the right path. But I thank God that you can't let people define you. You got to believe what God said about you. But here's the best part. Oh, hallelujah. And I'm about through. You saw the circumstance. You saw that she decided to step into the arena with Christ. And now they're going back and forth. And Jesus is testing. And Jesus is letting his disciples know, look how silly y'all are, believing that you're better than these Greeks. And here in the text, after he calls her a dog, She said, yeah, you're right. But even the dogs get the crumbs that come from the master's table. I may not be a pure-blood Israelite, but guess what? I still believe that you are able to do exceedingly abundantly more than I can ask or think. Even though I may not be all that you want me to be, Jesus, even though I maybe haven't done all that you wanted me to do, Jesus, I still can be who you want me to be, because I believe that if I just get a little bit of faith, that you can heal my daughter. Because even though I'm not the most churchy person, I don't have to be. The blood still works. I may not look like you want me to look, but guess what? I don't have to. The blood still works. I may have more sin than you 10 times over, but the blood still works. It still can do what I need it to do and clean up my life and make me right, even though I might be a dog, Jesus. That's all right. Even the dogs get to eat the crumbs. Yes. And if I just get a crumb of what you're giving out. All right. Even if I just get a crumb of what you're giving, Jesus, then that'll make everything all right. I don't need everything that you're giving out. Just give me a crumb. Yes. Jesus couldn't stand it anymore. Jesus couldn't stand it not one more minute. Jesus, he looks at her. Can you imagine, Jesus? I called her a dog, but she kept on coming. I said I didn't come for her, but she kept on coming. I told her, why don't you turn around? She kept on coming. I told her I can't help you. She kept on coming. Mark said Jesus didn't even want to be found. She kept on coming. And then when she got there, Jesus said, my God, your faith is amazing. You stepped into the arena with me, and you fought and you won. For faith puts demands on the power of God. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We have to believe. And when we just got a little crumb, everyone say a crumb. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. I've never seen anyone eat a bag of chips and leave the crumbs in the bottom. You straighten out the bag and you pull it up and you eat everything that's left. If you just get a crumb, then Jesus can make it all right. That if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to the mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea. And you shall not doubt in your heart. Jackie, you will have what you say. I take just a crumb. I challenge you all. I challenge you all today that I want you to step into the arena with God. And I want you to fight it out if you need to. But I want you to hold fast to what the Word has said. Don't go into arguing with Jesus if you don't have your facts right. Woo! Oh, you know. Anybody that's married or been in a relationship, you know. Well, first thing is your facts not right. Oh, you know it's the truth anyhow, say amen. But what had happened was, it was 2 o'clock, not 2:30. Get your facts right. So when you're going to go to Jesus and step into the arena, make sure you have your facts right. And see, this is what happens when you step in. I'm about through, Charlie. You step to Jesus and say, well, you said, whosoever shall come, let them come. So I'm right here, Jesus. That's what you said. Get your facts right. You said that you'll supply all of my need according to your riches and glory. That's what you said. Get your facts right. You said that by my stripes I have been made healed. I'm here for my healing. Get your facts right. Because Jacob said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. And the woman said, today I'm not going anywhere until you heal my daughter. Don't give in. You hold on. Now the thing is, Sister Nicole, come on. The thing is,
Yes, Lord.
You don't really know the timeline.
Yes, Lord.
When you say, Lord, We've been fighting for a long time, God. How long we gonna go through back and forth with this?
Yes.
And Jesus said, I want you to put demands on my power. Because I just want to see how bad you want it. Because everything is free when you're a Christian.
Yes.
This salvation we have is free. This indwelling of the Holy Spirit is free.
Yes.
Yet at some point, at some time, we're going to have to decide, you know, it's going to require something from me. It's going to require me to do something, to sacrifice something. It's going to require me to push in ways that I didn't know I could push. In ways, stretch me in ways I didn't know I could be stretched.
Yes, Lord.
And the Lord is just saying, how bad do you want it?
How bad you want
I was thinking the other day after I talked to the young girl at the Boston market. After I walked out of the... I was showing out, y'all. After I walked out of the store, I said, Wakanda forever! And the whole restaurant. Here go my dad. What's Wakanda? But as I was driving, I don't think people know. I talk about him, I play with him. I tell you, my dad's one of the funniest guys of all time.
Yes, he is.
I mean, all time. He's a great man, and great pastor, father, all that stuff. He is one of the funniest people you have ever met in your life. No filter. Right now. Well, I'll tell you a quick story we'll be through. As I was driving and the young girl had asked me about my time at Drew, I began to think back to when I was finishing my doctoral studies and I had a 4.0 and things were going well, and then my mom got sick and then she passed. And I told her, I said, you know, I don't think I'm going back. I said, I'm not going back. I could care less about this anyway, Mom. And she said, Alexander, go ahead and finish what you started. And I said, well, only reason I went because you kept bothering me. I mean, and she said, well, you got a 4.0, you got all A's, you're doing great. I want you to keep going. And then she passed, and I decided I wasn't going back. I said, I don't need that. For who, for what? And then there was a little note she had left me, and one of the encouragements was to finish the degree.
Yes, Lord.
So I called up, because I had already said to the registrar, I said, I'm not coming back. Y'all can quit sending me bills. I'm not going. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to finish. And I'm going to finish, and I'm going to get the best grades I can get. How bad do you want it? It's not easy. Who said it's going to be easy? This woman's daughter was demon possessed. But she laid down her faith. She let Jesus call her a dog. And she still was there fighting for what she wanted. How bad do you want it?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I wish you nothing but grace and peace in the days to come. The best part is that even when it gets hard, you don't have to walk the road alone. Jesus said, I'm a friend that sticks closer than a brother. I will be with you until the days are done. If you've never received Jesus, I invite you to come. If you want to join a good church home, I invite you to come. If you want someone to pray with you, I invite you to come. Let us stand.